zip line gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Vicky, you were in college, and around during the heyday.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying that tells me there's something to it.
Bruh, it was next level. And I'm talking about, I was in there for when they played Washington. I've been in there for Oklahoma, Nebraska. I've been in there for Colorado, Nebraska, 1-2s, 1-3s. And look, it was good, but that was next level.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, live 4 days a week, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time here at 93.7 The Ticket. It's still the dawn of a new era. I'm not very good at math, so I've lost track of what day it is. 14? Sounds about right. We're going to go with 14. 3.5 weeks in. Sounds good to me. I think that's actually right. All right, dawn of a new era, day number 14, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty. And producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. All right, I got a few interesting things today. Got a couple of things I want to read from the interwebs. Got some notes, even more, looked more in depth into Matt Rule's press conference. Got some notes there. We're going to talk about what the Blackshirts need to do better. How do they do them better? Maybe chat just a little bit about halftime adjustments and adjustments as a whole, because it appears to me as though the Big Ten has a full season of data on Tony White's 3-3-5 defense. They've made some adjustments. And now, how do coaches approach adjustments in the offseason, during the season, at halftime? What can Tony White do to adjust to their adjustments? And then back and forth we go. Hence why the coaches get paid the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little clip we're going to play, actually from Miami's defensive coordinator. I know the blasphemy. It was my idea. I was going to throw Jake under the bus, but it was totally my idea. But what he said made sense. Jake was waiting for it, too. He was sitting there waiting for it, too. But I thought what he said made a lot of sense. And actually goes back to what you learn in high school. So we're going to play that here in a little bit as well. The Pac-6. Yep, that's what it is now. I guess they're trying to become something that matters. But they've been rejected as many times, actually more times than they've heard yes. They just got rejected by 6 teams that said, we're not going to come join your little wannabe conference. So they got 4 yeses a week or 2 ago. They already had Washington State, Oregon State. So even though they have 6 teams, it's only 4 new yeses and 6 no's. We'll close the show today talking about the Pac-12 being a wannabe conference. With all due respect, I'm going to mock you just a little bit because it's kind of funny. All right, real quick, shout out all things 93.7 The Ticket. They're on the interwebs, all the social medias, TV, Allo, radio, The Ticket, online, theticketfm.com. Check them out. Also, Carriker Chronicles. Check out carrikerchronicles.com. It's where all your Husker sports hopes and dreams will come true. It's just science. Jake found that out last night. He went there and all of his hopes and dreams, Husker sports-wise, came true anyways. Got to put Husker sports in there or that could get a little crazy, Jake.
That's right. I don't know what kind of website you're running.
I mean, you should go check it out and find out. And then obviously on YouTube, I dropped another show today entitled, Will Nebraska Bounce Back? After the show I put out on Sunday, which was titled The Wake-Up Call That Nebraska Needed. All right, before we dive into that, I'm not going to share this because it's fun or I enjoy it. It's depressingly interesting. All right, Nebraska is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, last 8 drives in overtime. They have 0 first downs, 0 points. 2015 Miami. Score was tied 33-33. We had 1 play, no yards, interception, lost. 2016 at Wisconsin. We were losing when we got the ball. 17-23, 4 plays, 2 yards, turnover on downs, lost. Northwestern. All right, 2017. We were down when we got the ball. 24-31, 4 plays, negative 2 yards. Good Lord. Turnover on downs. 2018 Northwestern, tied 31-31, 4 plays, 9 yards, almost got the first, lost. 2019 at Colorado, 31-31 overtime, 3 plays, negative 6 yards. Oh my God. It was negative 29 yards versus Illinois. I said 30. All right. So I'm going to do some quick math here. Let's see. Carry the 1, carry the 5. All right. We are in our last 8 overtime possessions. We have negative 20 yards. Yeah, I'm just going to, I don't know what to say after that. I mean, I can keep going through all of these, but that's basically the crux of it. All right. Michigan State, no first down. Wisconsin, the next, no first down. Negative 1 yards. Illinois, no first down, 4 plays, minus 29 yards, lost. Okay, again, I don't share that because it's fun. It's depressingly interesting. Not everything that's interesting is positive, ladies and gentlemen. But I did think this was amusing. You can follow @HuskGuys on X and Facebook. All right, and here's what they put. I'm just going to read the post as they put it. Wife, what's wrong? Me, nothing. Wife, what's wrong? Something is wrong. Me, nothing is wrong. Wife, tell me. Me, well, I thought we had a top 10 defense that was going to carry us all season. If we could make a chip shot field goal, we would have finally won a 1-score game, and we are struggling to find our identity as a team, and you haven't even asked me once about any of that. It's like you don't even care. Oh, it's like he's been married for a while. All right, the next positive thing that I will give you, or humorous, that was supposed to be humorous. If you're married, it's hilarious. If you're not, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But here's a positive thing. And Dylan Raiola continues to exceed expectations. His rankings in the Big Ten, passing-wise. Number 2 in touchdown passes with 8. Number 3 in completions with 83. Number 4 in passing yards with 967. And number 5 in the Big Ten Conference when it comes to completion percentage at 72.2%. All right. I found some things that are interesting. Some things that hopefully you found were humorous. Some things that were positive. Now let's chat about Tony White. Is that clip ready, Jake?
Yep.
I have a tendency to send Jake clips like 5 minutes before the show. Hey, can we run this in like 10 minutes? And he's been all over it. Producer Jake does a phenomenal job. All right. We're going to run the clip. Now, this is Miami's defensive coordinator. I'm Guidry. Sorry, I tried to learn how to pronounce his name. But when he was asked if halftime adjustments are a real thing or just something that people say, something every defensive coordinator needs to hear, is said by Miami's D coordinator. Go ahead and roll that clip, Jake.
This is what I found. I found out that through my years, this is just my experience, not anybody else's, but you look at film and you watch it and you have a plan of how you're going to stop it. And when you come out to play against them, they're not going to do that. They're going to have something else. So you have to be able to fix the problems before halftime. If you fix the problems before halftime, they'll probably go back to the things you saw on film. If you haven't stopped the problems, then your job as a coordinator is to fix the problems at half because they're coming back to it. Once you fix the problem, they'll go back to what you've seen on film. And to me, that's where you make your money as a coordinator. You don't make it on the weekends. You have to be able to game plan, but you also have to be able to adjust in game and know exactly what to go to by what they're doing. And a lot of times that comes from experience of just seeing it. And to tell you the truth, my high school experience has probably helped me more than any of my college experience because you start off defending option football, wing tee, empty. You see everything in high school. Everybody copycats, and you'll see one offense one week and you never see that offense again. So that's kind of where you cut your teeth, as a coach. I found it. That's my track anyway.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miami defensive coordinator Lance Guidry. They're a top 10 team. My preseason pick to go 11-1, win the ACC, and get a top 4 bid in the college football playoff. Looks relatively good so far. A lot of ball left to play. But there's a lot of truth in that statement because we spend all this time watching film and preparing for our opponent. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to start the game in something different. They're not stupid. They're over there game planning you too. Okay, every week we put in something new on defense. Every week the offense puts in something new. It's based on one of two things. Either you want to change up what you've been showing your opponents, or you've seen something in your opponent that you want to try to exploit by doing something new to them, or a combination of both. I'll never forget My sophomore year, we went and played at Oklahoma. They were number 3 in the country. And look at my redshirt freshman year. I can't remember. I played so many games. I played football for over 20 years. I'm pretty sure I have CTE, and I can't believe I can do a coherent sentence. It was one of the years that we went to Norman. There was only 1 year. I believe it was my sophomore year. I'm pretty sure now that I think about it. But our defensive coordinator said Oklahoma is not only going to put in new things, they're not only going to put in some new plays, they have a whole new formation each and every single game with a whole set of 15 plays out of that new formation. So we basically prepared for what we had seen and what we thought we were going to see, and a formation that we weren't sure what it was going to be until the first few plays of the game. So he is 100% correct, Coach Guidry, in the fact that they're going to throw something new at you. And if you don't stop it, they're going to keep coming back to it. If it ain't broke, I always say don't break it. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In my world, if it ain't broke, don't go breaking the thing. Now, if you stop it at halftime, they're going to come out and they're going to go back to what they were doing before you played them. But going into halftime, if you ain't stopped it, they're going to keep doing it until you stop. My point is, in-game adjustments, in-season adjustments, off-season adjustments are a lot easier because you have months to do them. In season, you have more time, but as you can imagine, football coaches ain't got a lot of extra time during the season. In-game adjustments are the most challenging because it's live, it's going fast, and for obvious reasons. Here's what I'm getting at. The biggest thing the black shirts need to do, to me, it's 2 parts. Number one, they need to look at themselves, and they need to say, we're not being physical enough up front. We're not tackling well enough. And we can't be leaving guys wide open in man coverage. Man coverage can be a little bit confusing. There's a reason offenses shift and motion and do all this BS crap before the snap. It's to try to confuse you, especially if you're in man coverage. Are you running with the receiver? Are you passing it off? Does everybody pass off the man correctly to their next new man? Bam, the ball snapped. Is it a run? Is it a pass? Is it a play action pass? Crap, this guy's really fast or this guy's really big. It's what offenses try to do. They try to put you in a predicament. It's why they're getting paid the big bucks over there as well. Clearly, Big Ten offenses have had an offseason to watch what the 3-3-5 defense is. And Tony White's a good football coach. That has not changed. To be clear, has not changed. They have adjusted to us. Now it's Tony White and his staff's opportunity to adjust to them in season and in the middle of games if need be. And the need will be there throughout games, as I'm sure you're all aware of. So what I'm getting at is the black shirts need to look at themselves and look in the mirror and be brutally honest. What are we not doing well? We're not being physical enough up front. We're not tackling well. And we're not disciplining the back end because we're leaving guys running wide open in man-to-man defense. Address those things first. And then on game day versus Purdue, versus Rutgers, Indiana, Ohio State, and you see what they're doing. And you got to be able to adjust in the middle of the game because they've clearly come with a new, updated, changed, and apparently improved game plan for the 3-3-5 defense. So the question is, how much better can we be at the things that we haven't done great just yet? And to be clear, this is still a pretty good defense, but expectations come with responsibility. They were a very good defense last year. 9 returning starters, 7 starting seniors, and every single starter on that team is an upperclassman, junior or senior. The expectation is that you will be equivalent to and or probably much better than you were a year ago because you have so many people coming back, starting with the defensive line. The defensive line was such a question mark last year. Ty Robinson was the only guy with any real experience. Nobody else had any. And then the defensive line turned out to probably be the strength of the whole team. Well, their whole 2 deep came back. So the assumption is you're going to be equivalent to and or greater than the assumption is you're going to be better than you were last year. And everyone's coming back. So am I saying that they're playing horribly? No. Based on our expectations, are they meeting them? No. They need to address what they're not doing well. They need to embrace the expectations and the responsibilities as an honor because that's what it is. Expectations with responsibilities go hand in hand, and it's an honor, and they need to get better at the 3 areas I've mentioned. Being more physical up front, tackling as an overall whole, communicating and being disciplined in the back end. Tony White, a 2 times Broyles Award nominee. That's Assistant Coach of the Year in America, ladies and gentlemen. He's a good coach. It's time for him to make adjustments to what other teams are doing to us. And I look forward to seeing what he can do and what he come up with. Now, the question is, how long does it take for him to make successful adjustments? It took opposing Big Ten offenses an entire offseason. Sometimes you can do them in the middle of a game. Sometimes you can do them at halftime. Sometimes it takes during the season and a couple of weeks to figure it out. I 100% believe Tony White's going to make good adjustments. The question is, will it be by Saturday? Will it be during Saturday? Will it take 2 to 3 weeks? I really hope it doesn't go into the offseason, and I'd be surprised if it does. But those are the biggest things the Blackshirts need to address, need to improve on, and need to work on, in my humble opinion. All right, Jake. Agree, disagree? What did I miss? Where am I wrong? Where am I right? What you got?
No, I completely agree, and that's going to be the interesting thing moving forward. And I kind of brought this up earlier, is that you remember the 2009 defense, which we hold in very high regard, and as well we should. I think they gave up 31 to Texas Tech at one point. So
I remember that. Yep.
Some of these, even great defenses stumble. I'm not, comparing this defense to the 2009 defense quite yet. But it's hopefully can be used as a lesson in moving forward. And clearly, I think you're right, though. I think it is time that the adjustments need to be made, because it feels like they've kind of caught up to that. Hey, we could just, like you said, the offseason idea of, hey, everybody's coming back, defense should be better. Well, that's in a world where nothing else changes.
Yep.
And there's things changing all around you with the opponent's scouting.
Yeah, you're never staying the same. You're either getting better, you're getting worse. Other people apparently got better when it comes to understanding what we're doing on defense. So now we've got to respond. And I look forward to seeing how that process unfolds. All right. Again, look at a little bit more in depth at some of the things Coach Rule had to say yesterday. Now, there's some guys banged up. There's some injuries. All right. Don't know what we're going to get from Mazuka. He's healthy. He can play. Really good player. Really strong-willed individual. I don't have a ton of details. What I do know, I'm not going to dive into. What I have been informed on is he is strong-willed. He's been doing things a certain way for a while. And there's a acclimation period that is going on because Matt Rule has a culture, and there needs to be a coming together between the two. And I'll leave it at that. All right. When he's on the field, he's a good player. But obviously, there's a culture in the building, and it's for everybody. All right. Now, whether Micah Mazuka plays or not, whether obviously Turner's probably going to be out for a while. We got some other guys banged up. Tommy Hill's day to day. It's next man up mentality. All due respect to Purdue. This is a game where we should be able to have our next man step up, and we should be able to play well. And even if it's not Purdue, like, they have created depth on the defense. We have more depth on this team than we've had in a long time, at least in certain spots. All right. So next man up mentality. One of those guys is Zaire Wright, and here's what Coach Rule had to say. He said, and I quote, "I thought he played really well. He forced a fumble. He had tight coverage on the one he had the pass interference call on, tight coverage on the sideline. He played with energy and physicality. He played really well." End quote. Next man up. Space Jam up. He was in the last Space Jam movie. For those who don't know, the USC transfer actually started 15 games for the Trojans. Now, the knock would be, well, USC didn't play defense for 2 years. Okay, that's fair. They're above average now. And here's what I know. Zaire has played a lot of ball, and he played really well on Saturday the moment he was asked to step into the game. And you never know. It's hard to stay ready at all times. You never know what's going to happen. All right, on Gunnar Gatula stepping in and playing, Coach Rule said, and I thought he played really well. Unfortunately, time got away from us, and that affected us. But even that was a twist move. Talking about a couple of pass rush stunts, ends, tackles, doing some stunts up front. All right, we need a little bit more help there. I thought Gunnar Gatula came in and filled in well, end quote. So he's probably a guy we're going to be relying on. They're trying to figure out who's going to go to that tackle spot. If Mazuka plays, is it him? Is it Latovsky? Is it Gatula? Going to have to see. All right, next up. And this kind of pertains to the run game a little bit. Something Illinois had not been great at before Friday. And I quote, they have a lot after contact. I think it means yards. A lot after contact. I believe at halftime they had 31 yards rushing. That is correct, by the way. They had a lot more than that at the end of the game. It was really in the second half, because I remember addressing that. We predicted it. They were going to go tempo, no huddle. They were going to run RPO. They spelled it out, our PO. It's RPO, my friends who typed this up. They adjusted as the game went on, and they found more runs. They ran some crack tosses. They ran some different things. At the end of the day, we didn't get off the blocks and win third downs. End quote. That's the key part. Okay, every human being is created equal. Every down in football is not. First down, with all due respect to second down, is more important than second down. Third down, with all due respect to first and third down, is more important than both those downs. Unless you're getting like 9 yards of play on first down, then everything else becomes a lot easier. All things being relatively equal, third down is the most important down. Nebraska struggled to get off the field, all right, versus Northern Iowa, and they struggled to get off the field versus Illinois in our last contest. And we're going to put the Illinois game to bed here pretty soon. But they had, what did he say? 31 yards rushing in the first half. Because I remember we had more total yards, we had more rushing yards, we had more first downs in the first half. By the end of the game, Illinois had 5 more first downs than us. We had the time of possession advantage by almost 10 minutes at halftime. By the end of the game, we won it by roughly 30 seconds, which means they had the time of possession advantage in the second half by 10 minutes. They converted over 50% of their third downs. They were converted two-thirds of their fourth downs. 2 out of 3 they converted. And their rush yards went from 31 in the first half to 168 in the second half. They outrushed Nebraska by 119 yards, 168 to 50. They averaged 4.4 yards per carry. A lot of that was after contact. Got to tackle better. And Nebraska averaged 1.6 yards per carry on the man-to-man coverage. And again, I talked about zone is the simplest thing you can run. You go coach youth football, you're going to run cover 3. It's what everybody does. Okay, you put your most athletic kid at safety. Maybe you hide a kid or a kid or two at corner, with all due respect, depending on what the age is. And you run cover 3, and everyone just has their little zone. And if it's a run, you tell them to err towards playing the run, because most people can't throw that well at the younger ages. Zone is the simplest thing you can run. Man gets a little bit more complicated, especially with double tight end shifts and motions and all these things. And then all of a sudden they're going tempo. This is major Division I college football. We got to be on the same page. We got to be able to communicate. We got to be able to pass off receivers if they're going in motion. Not, this is my new man. That's your new man. Whatever the call is. Just got to be able to communicate better. All right. Illinois pressuring the offense. Matt Rule said, and I quote, "I'd blitz Dylan Raiola. We were winning versus man. We put 4 wideouts on with straight process of can their fourth corner come cover Ja'Cory Barney." Man, I need to proofread this next time. Basically, they're saying they're going man-to-man. We're going 4 wide. And can their third and 4 best DB cover Ja'Cory Barney? That's what he's saying there. Or Jalen Lloyd, depending on who's on the field. And they started playing a lot of zone because they were losing that battle. As the game wore along, I mean, Dylan Raiola was on fire early, and the in-game adjustment that Illinois made was they went a lot more zone. And we got to be able to adjust back to that. There's man beaters, there's zone beaters, there's cover 2 beaters, there's 3 beaters, 4 verts. Tough to beat if you're in cover 2 or 3 especially. And then they started blitzing more. I'm going to paraphrase because this is a long quote. They started blitzing more. They started attacking more. Okay. And that's how Illinois had success in the second half. As opposed to going man, they went zone and started blitzing more and attacking more. We got to be able to adjust to that. Now, final thoughts. We got to go to a break. When you keep the expectations in mind, the Blackshirts have not played well this year. When you just compare them to an average defense, they're still an above average defense and a good defense, but they are nowhere near, honestly, where they should be. Last year, the Blackshirts carried this team along with the second best rushing offense in the Big Ten, and the turnovers and quarterback killed us. Quarterback killed us last year. Easy for me to say. This year, we've got good quarterback play. The offense is vastly improved, and now the other side of the ball isn't holding up their end of the bargain. If we could have the Blackshirts play up to their potential, and I say that because I have so much belief in what they can do. If I was a player and I wasn't playing up to my potential, well, first of all, my dad would pick up the phone and rip into me like a monkey on a cupcake. Okay, I would hear all about it. I owe so much to that man, by the way. But you want somebody to be honest with you. If you're doing the best you can, I'll tell you you're doing the best you can. Hey, if you're a 10-year-old and you can't dunk a basketball, I'm not going to rip into you like a monkey on a cupcake. I'm going to be like, hey, man, let's work on some layups and jump shots. But if you're 7 foot tall and you can't dunk, I'm going to be like, bro, we got to work on this athleticism a little bit here. The expectation for the Blackshirts is there because I believe in them. If they hold up their end of the bargain with what our offense has done and our special teams is just be freaking average, I feel beyond great about an 8-4 record prediction this year, which is what I had before the season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to head to a break. When we come back, we're going to look at some more of Matt Rule's quotes. He talks about a whole lot of things. I thought they were very, very interesting. And then we are going to talk about the mighty Pac-6 conference at the end of the day. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go.
Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
What a finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 4 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun together in the process as well. Powered by 93.7 The Ticket and the Carriker Chronicles. All right. Jake had the audacity to correct me during the break. Actually, I much appreciate it. It turns out that the mighty Pac-6, now the mighty Pac-7, watch out. They're coming for you, Big Ten and SEC. All right, Utah State has indeed agreed to join the Pac-7. I'll be honest with you. It's like they're trying to get all the Mountain West teams and all the AAC teams. If I'm Memphis, why am I going to go halfway across the country to play a bunch of teams that probably aren't as good as the teams I'm going to play in the AAC? They're definitely not equal to or greater than. They're equal to or less than. All right. The teams that have currently, you have this in front of you by chance, Jake? I got it. That have currently agreed to join the mighty Pac-7 are Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State. Hey, those are actually 3 pretty good teams. San Diego State, Fresno State, Boise State, Colorado State. Utah State's actually halfway decent. I remember when I was growing up, they were awful. I always thought they should just get rid of them and focus on BYU and Utah, but they're actually pretty decent. So they're up to 7 teams, now with Utah State joining as well. But they did get rejected by Memphis, Tulane, UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio, for those that don't know. When you get rejected by the Roadrunners, by the way, they're the UTSA Roadrunners. Not great. South Florida. Yeah, South Florida wants to go play in Pullman, Washington. Tampa. Let's leave Tampa, Florida, and let's go play in Pullman, Washington. Corvallis, Oregon is actually beautiful. I've been to both places many, many times. The one time I got a little too hydrated was in Pullman. That's a story for another day. So the question is, will the Pac-12, and actually, hold on, there's 2 more. UNLV, kind of in limbo, but they did initially reject the Pac-7, along with San Jose State, another school that was awful when I was growing up. They tend to be really good, and then 3 years later, they're awful, and then they're good for like a year, and then their coach leaves and goes for a real job, and then they're awful again. They both said, no thanks to the Pac-7. UNLV did say if the Mountain West doesn't stay as is, then they might come over. Coattail riders. But here's the deal. They got the Las Vegas market. Las Vegas never had a pro team for Lord knows how many years. And all of a sudden they've got hockey and they've got football. And now all of a sudden they matter at college football when they didn't matter for years. They had a basketball team in 1990 that was pretty good. Beat Duke for the national championship. Was it 90 or 91? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
You're supposed to know this off the top of your head when I just throw random crap at you. Come on, Jake.
I was 1.
What was I? 7, 6? Depends on the year. I don't know. I don't know how old I was, Jake. Anyways, I digress. This Las Vegas market has all of a sudden become a big deal out of nowhere. I thought it's just where people went to do things that you never talked about again, but apparently it has monetary value in sports now. So for now, UNLV is still in the Mountain West. San Jose State still in the Mountain West. And I proposed a question to Jake. I was like, why don't they just bring the Mountain West and Pac-7 together? Why do you think they don't do that? I have my theory and my thought, and don't steal what I said to you during the break. Come up with something else. What you got, Jake?
I would have to. It makes sense to me. It's always, none of this makes sense to me to begin with.
Well, we can agree on that.
Nebraska, the NCAA has always needed a commissioner to put this back together geographically. But it would make sense to me, 2 struggling or mediocre conferences combine it together. The problem is, no matter how many of those teams you put together, they're not even the Big 12, right? So, the Pac-12 still wants to argue, hey, we're going to be a Power 5 team or conference. And it's just like, that's not available. That's not an option.
The best they could. So what they're going to do is they're going to split the Mountain West into 2 conferences, and the Pac whatever eventually is just going to happen to have Oregon State, Washington State, which are the power conference rejects, with all due respect. Just FYI, my 3 final schools when I was being recruited was Washington State, Oregon State, Nebraska. So when I call them the power conference rejects, get over it. Doesn't bother me because I almost went, especially to Oregon State. They were actually really good. They just finished 0-1. They were number 4 in the country, spanked Notre Dame 41-9 in the Fiesta Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. They had Chad Ochocinco, TJ Hushmanzada, a lot of good players. That was a long time ago. Really glad I didn't go there. I like going 4-wheeling in Oregon, though. You probably never been to Coos Bay, Winchester Bay, Florence.
Oh, I'd love to. I want to go to Oregon at some point. Yeah.
My dad and I used to go there every summer. And we started it about 8th grade in high school. And we'd go there every summer, and we'd be there for 7 days. Sunday to Sunday, we'd 4-wheel all day long. We get up at 7, 4-wheel, and then we go to lunch, 4-wheel till about 7 at night. Then I'd go to the pool in the hot tub. He'd hang out in the room. And we did it for 7 days. We never covered the same ground twice. It was phenomenal. So I actually grew up liking Oregon a lot. I thought it was beautiful. Enjoyed many things about Oregon. But when it comes to the Washington State Cougars and the Oregon State Beavers, with all due respect, you are the power conference rejects. And now you're trying to bring back the mighty Pac-7, Pac-12 to the Pac-7. And really what you're doing is you're just destroying the Mountain West into 2 weaker conferences when you could just basically Mountain West, Pac-7 come together, add Oregon State, Washington State, and maybe you can be equivalent to the AAC. Because the AAC is what you should really be shooting for right now. You're not even going to match the ACC, let alone the Big 12, and you're not even in the same frickin' novel book as the actual 2 power conferences, the Big 10 and the SEC. So to me, it's ego, it's our way is the best, and it's I don't want to lose money. That's why this is happening this way. It's kind of like in business. A lot of times people break apart. I've seen churches break apart. Rather than do what is best, let's do what is best for me, which really isn't what's best for you. It's just how your ego feels. What they should do is the Mountain West and Oregon State, Washington State should just be one big conference, and hopefully they could eventually build to be equal to the AAC. Because, and what do you think of this, Jake? Because geography doesn't matter. Let's be honest. Okay. Cal and Stanford are playing teams in North Carolina and Miami, Florida. All right. And they're trying to get South Florida to go play in Pullman, Washington. So geography doesn't matter. Piscataway, LA, same conference. Because, yeah, that makes sense. Why doesn't the AAC, the Mountain West, the Power 2 conference rejects, why don't they all just come together and form a mega conference? And then maybe they could be in the conversation to compete with the ACC and the Big 12. You're nodding your head, but you're not saying anything. We're on radio. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I still don't think you're quite competing at that point. Now, maybe over the years you can build as a program. All this, of course, has to be how much are you getting from your TV market and all that stuff. So the TV deals. So I don't think they'd get the same there. The American, I feel bad for, and I was surprised but glad to see that those teams rejected it. Partially because I'd like to see some regionality in all this. But
there won't be.
There won't be.
Yeah.
But more than anything is the American has been picked apart for years. I mean, they have to rotate. Remember Rutgers, Louisville. I mean, these schools have been in and out of the American. So for them to have
Army,
any
Navy.
stability, it's tough.
So here's what happens. The Sun Belt is the very bottom of all this. The MAC is kind of, nobody wants all the frozen, not so good cold weather teams. So they're just kind of off in their own little frozen island, with all due respect. The Sun Belt takes all the new teams. Okay, whether it be Georgia Southern or Arkansas State or whoever. Okay, Western Kentucky. Then they get good. Then the American steals from the Sun Belt, and the Sun Belt has to start over. And then the American, whoever becomes good in the American, they go to the AAC. And luckily, the AAC hasn't really been rated too much. I know they lost UCF and Cincinnati and whatnot. I guess that is a decent amount, to be fair, because those were their 2 best teams. But they haven't had like 8 to 10 teams taken, like the Pac-12 did, okay? Or the entire conference except for 2, which is what happened to the Pac-12. My point is that's kind of how it works. So for me, like the AAC, they kind of view themselves as, well, we're like the 5th power conference. Well, no, you're not. Their conference champion goes to the New Year's 6 bowl games way more often than not because they are the highest rated conference champ way more often than not. I know Liberty was an exception last year. By the way, how'd that go? But if you really want to be taken seriously, you really want to try to be there's a 2 power conferences, then there's the next 2, and there's everybody else. If you want there to be 2 power conferences and then be part of that conversation for the next 3, at least until the ACC goes away, because that's eventually going to happen, by far the worst of the so-called power conferences this year. They got one good team and whatever else the rest of that conference is. Okay, Miami and whatever else is left. Even NC State didn't represent very well. North Carolina scores 50, loses by 20 to James Madison. I mean, what in the world is going on? What they should do is they should work out a deal with the Mountain West, whatever the pack, whatever is trying to be, and come together. Worst case scenario, the AAC can stay over here, the Mountain West and the Pac-2, the Pac-7 come together and form at least a halfway decent, really good conference on this side of the map. What if this happened? What if this happened? With all due respect to the MAC and the Sun Belt and the American Conference, okay, what if the AAC champ, and let's say the Pac-15 at this point, merged with the Mountain West, and the 2 conference champs played every year, and that team was the team that got in the college football playoff? Like, you had to earn by winning that extra game. Or what if instead of the highest rated group of 5 team getting into the college football playoff, because I think Memphis and Boise State are both really good this year. And there's going to be people sitting in a room like you and me that determine which one gets in. So what if they're the 2 highest rated teams at the end of the year? What if they just played it out and the winner got in?
I would love it. I would love that.
Then we actually know.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is some year the committee is going to pick the wrong one. Then they're going to go be the 12th seed. They're going to get destroyed by a Georgia team who lost by 1 point in the SEC title game, who's going to end up in the national title game because they're really the 2nd best team in the country, but they're the 5th seed because the seeding makes no sense. And you're going to play the team who's really not the best G5 team. They're going to lose by 50, and then all the G5 teams are going to be told they're not very good. There's people who claim they're not even playing the same sport. I'll be honest, Josh Pate is phenomenal. He's one who says it. And it annoys the crap out of me. Him and his white t-shirt, bald-headed wearing self is a phenomenal college football analyst. But his take on the G5 teams is completely unfair. Give them a chance. Let Cinderella walk into the ball. Don't just shut the door before she even gets a chance to put on the glass slippers, see if it fits, and comes in. If she comes in and she falls all over the place and breaks her ankle, fine, then make a decision. But don't predetermine it before she ever comes through the door. I hate it. And I know most people don't agree with me. Jake does. He's highly intelligent. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I got lots of thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. They do go beyond Nebraska football. Normally, I save them for the offseason. Mostly, I just wanted to poke fun at 2 schools I almost went to, and I'm actually a big fan of. I actually root for Washington State way over Washington, and I root for Oregon State over Oregon. Although, actually, when I was being recruited, I really liked Oregon. They just had the puke green and yellow back in the day with the angry Daffy Duck out the side of the helmet. I wasn't a big fan of that as a recruit. They've come a long ways. I've never seen a school do more with less when it comes to school colors than the University of Oregon. Very impressive. So I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to poke fun at the Pac-7, I guess it now is, whatever it is, why they can't just come together with the Mountain West, which would by far make the most sense. Like, here's what should have happened. The Mountain West should have called Oregon State and Washington State, said, sorry, the Pac-12 was a phenomenal conference for decades, one that I grew up watching, born in Hastings. When I was 3, my dad's job took him upstate of Washington. I grew up in the state of Washington watching Nebraska football and the Pac-10, Pac-12 conference. It doesn't exist anymore. Oregon State, Washington State, come join the Mountain West, and let's try to compete and beat the AAC teams and go from there. That's what should have happened. Greed and money and people in shiny suits and fancy cars that walk red carpets who don't give a crap about college football or its fans can't get out of the way of not destroying the sport, but not doing what's best for the sport. We need a commissioner who cares about the sport. I do not like... Start over. I am not a fan of Roger Goodell. Not many former players are. But the NFL is thriving because there is a person in the position of power who has the entire league's best interest at heart. The Big Ten doesn't care about anybody else. The SEC doesn't care about anybody else. If you think they do, why don't you ask what used to be the Pac-12 conference and now the mighty Pac-7 conference, how they think the Big Ten respected them? Ask the ACC in about 3 to 4 years when they're not around anymore. The Big 12 survived. Kudos to their commissioner. Remember when the Pac-12 and I think it was down to like the Big 8 or Big 10, whatever it was, because the names and numbers don't matter anymore. They're not accurate. Okay, the Big 10 has been the Big 10 since 1994 when they went to 11 teams and Penn State joined the conference, by the way, because that makes sense. And then the Big 12 was the Big 12 when they had 10 teams. Then they went to 12. Then they went to 14. Now they got 16 now. God, I can't even keep track. My point is this. We need someone in charge of the sport who understands it and who cares about what's best for the sport, even if it's just the business side of the entire sport. Because right now, the Big Ten just cares about the business of the Big Ten and the SEC and everybody else. And it's not what's best for the entire sport. Everything related to the business of college football may not be the best for us fans of college football, but at least it's the best for college football, not this part over here and this part over here. And this part of the puzzle gets way more importance. And this part of the puzzle may not even exist pretty soon. My point is simply, I should be the commissioner of college football, and we should go to break on that. All right, Jake?
Yeah, I like it.
Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Newcastle and Man City play each other at 6:30 a.m., followed by Chelsea and Brighton facing off at 9 a.m. On Sunday, Man United plays Tottenham at 10:30 a.m., followed by Bournemouth and Southampton, ending the week at 2 p.m. At the top of the EPL standings, Man City is 4-1-0 with no losses on the season and a draw, while Liverpool and Aston Villa are 4-0-1, both with one loss. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, I went on a bit of a rant that last segment. Basically, I should be the college football commissioner, and I should just be nominated and accept the bid. Oh, I'm going to say it. Just like Kamala Harris, with no votes needed. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got to come back to Rules. More thoughts on what Rule had to say on Monday, because there's like 4 papers left, and I got about 3 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at a post that I put out on X. Hey, if you're mad at me about the Kamala thing, that goes both ways. Either side could be mad or love that same statement. All right, it just is what it is. Facts. All right, I put this out on X. And actually, the person who originally put it out sent me a DM because he got quite the response. And he's like, are you trying to get all of Husker Nation to come after me or what? And he did put a smiling face, so I think he was joking, kind of. All right, I won't put the account just so they don't get more at them. Number 9, Penn State opens as an 18-point favorite versus Illinois. If Illinois was as great as many Husker fans want to believe, I do believe they're a good team. They're 4-0, beat 2 ranked teams. But he said, if they're as great as most Husker fans want to believe, this line wouldn't be this massive. That is a fair point. 18 points, that's big. Illinois is not a top 25 team. We just aren't a very good team, is what he had to say. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. 18 points is massive. I was a little surprised to see that. I do think Penn State is a legit playoff team, not just like eking it at 11 or 12, like an 8, 9, or 10 seed. It's all going to come down to their passing game. Illinois has got a lot left to prove. If Nebraska had won and we were 19th in the country and we were playing Penn State, we'd have a lot to prove. So I agree that it's a fair point that Illinois may not be a great team. We don't know. We really don't know. Again, they're 4-0 with 2 wins over 2 ranked teams. 1 versus a rival, 1 on the road on a short week. I got to respect that. You look at their recruiting rankings over the past few years, they're not going to wow you. So that's always held against the team. Development and how good you are actually with the pads on is what really matters. So with about a minute to go, because we're actually on time today, So I'm not going to be the one to screw that up because that never happens, with all due respect. Inside joke with Jake, don't laugh. My final thought is this. I still think Nebraska's a good team. Are we a great team? We're probably not as good as we'd hoped we'd be. We're going to learn a little bit more each and every week. Beat Purdue and get to 4-0. That doesn't sound half bad. Come at home. Come back to home. Play Rutgers. Then you get a bye week before you go on the road to play Indiana. It's very real that Nebraska could be 4-1, maybe 6-1, 5-2 going into the last 5 games of the year. This is a team going in the right direction with areas that need to improve. They're clearly better than they were last year. Clearly, they have things they need to improve on. But to say that we're just not very good, I disagree with that part of that post. By the way, that account does a phenomenal job. If you know the post I'm talking about, go track down the account, give them a follow. All right. Illinois, we'll find out just how good they are or not against Penn State. And we're going to learn more about Nebraska each and every weekend, which is one of the things I love about college football, is you learn more and more each and every week as this season goes along. The other thing, final thought, some teams peak early. Some teams peak middle of the season. Some teams peak at the right time. I'm curious to see when Illinois peaks. And that's the last thing I'm going to say about Illinois in that game, because I'm more curious to see how Nebraska improves. And when do they peak? Do they peak at the right time? We're a good team that's getting better with areas we still need to improve on. But when are we going to play our best football? Can't wait to find out each and every Saturday going forward. Until next time, Husker Nation, go Big Red Nose. Remember, Jake, do it with me.
Yeah.
To throw the bones.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Playing Pinnacle Bank Arena this Friday through Sunday. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for show details and get your tickets today.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a few showers are possible this morning, but we'll see mostly sunny skies this afternoon and a high around 79. Tonight, mostly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 52. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine and light winds with an afternoon high around 81.